Like and subscribe on the way to the door, people. Today, getting to another video request. I'm not gonna even attempt to pronounce this, but this is a request by @KUKATEKASK5377. And he says, I would really love a video on KD. He seems to have all the tools to be better than LeBron. Why has he not been better? And that's a good question. To me, is several components to that. One is that, unfortunately, KD followed in LeBron's footsteps. You know, LeBron started the super teams and KD followed suit and hasn't stopped following suit since. And as a viewer commented on one of my videos recently, but he said just the idea of forming a super team is a shortcut mentality. Just the idea of forming a super team is a shortcut mentality. And I totally agree with that. You know, to me, and if you have that mentality, to me, there's already some things that, to me, you've proven you're not willing to do everything it takes to win organically. And that's a problem. And then the other thing, you know, I feel like KD is I feel like because they took that path, KD and LeBron share that same sensitiveness. You know, it's supposedly KD is always responding to fans, you know, social media and stuff. To me, that's a guilty conscience. The same way LeBron has to do that kind of stuff. To me, that's a guilty conscience. You know, LeBron having to tell us he didn't cheat the game, you know, and all this kind of stuff. That's guilty conscience because you know that you haven't done things the right way. And KD, I feel like, has that same thing. But I think the biggest reason why KD hasn't been better than LeBron, so to speak, is KD doesn't really have a leader mentality. You know, KD has all the skills, and I love to watch him play most of the time. I mean, it's no secret that he's a huge Michael Jordan fan. And to me, you can tell when you watch KD play. You can definitely tell that he studied some Michael Jordan, that he's deeply studied some Michael Jordan. So from that standpoint, I love to watch KD. But like I said, to me, KD doesn't have a leader mentality. And I think that's really the difference between a lot of players who are highly skilled, but just never seem to reach their potential. You know, I would throw Gilbert Arenas in that category. Is, you know, people who are just very skilled, but because they don't have that leader mentality, you know, I don't think they reach their full potential. KD strikes me as the kind of person who just wants to clock in, do his job to the best of his ability, and clock out. You know, I don't see him being someone in one way or another who's going to really get onto the team and galvanize the team to go out there and be cutthroat, so to speak. And like I said, you know, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I don't put a lot of stock in LeBron James' leadership either. But I can say at least LeBron James wants to be in a leadership position. He at least wants that much, even though he's not good at it. But KD, he doesn't strike me as the kind of person that actually wants to take on a responsibility to be in that leadership position and, you know, to get onto his teammates when they need getting onto. You know, he strikes me, like I said, he strikes me as the kind of person who's like, I'm going to work on my craft. I'm going to be as good as I can be. And I'm going to come in, punch the clock, you know, do my job and leave. And, there's been tons of players like that to come in and out of the league. But I think the difference between players who reach a certain level, I would say who get into definitely the top 10, but maybe even the top 20, to me, those players all have some sort of leadership quality. Whether you're talking about MJ, Kobe, Shaq, Magic, Bird, Bill Russell, Wilt, Tim Duncan, a number of players. And I think, like I said, I think that's evidenced by the results of KD's career. I mean, if we're being honest, I think if KD is being honest, like, he got those rings with Golden State, but how much are they worth, really? How much are they worth? How much are 2 championships that you got with a team that was already a champion? Yeah. So like I said, he followed in the footsteps of LeBron James. And, I think he kind of doomed himself from that point on. But again, like the viewer said in my comments, to be willing to create a super team is already a shortcut mentality. So to me, it's like, once you have that mentality, I don't think you would ever reach your full potential. And, LeBron James has that mentality. For as great as the fanboys want to think he is, LeBron James did not reach his full potential. And, as great as Kevin Durant is, I think LeBron's physique obviously gives him some edge. As skilled as Kevin Durant is, LeBron's physique has kind of given him a Shaq-like presence, at the small forward position, which allowed him to get by without having a lot of skills. And then the other thing, I think, partly why Kevin Durant hadn't reached his full potential, didn't become better than LeBron James, is he seems to be arrogant to a certain degree. And I say that because, to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it was just Kyrie, but I think him and Kyrie suggested that they be player coaches with the Nets. And when I heard that, that's like one of the most ridiculous things I've heard in this day and age. And people may say, well, Bill Russell did it. Yeah, but the difference is Bill Russell had already won several championships at that point. Bill Russell had already won several championships. So, to me, with him being the leader of the team, them having already won so many championships, like he knew what to do. But KD and Kyrie, y'all gonna be player coaches? When KD, the only rings you got is with Golden State, a super team, and Kyrie, the only rings you got is alongside LeBron James. And while I think Kyrie totally doesn't get enough credit for the part he played in that championship, Kyrie wasn't the dominant force on there. He wasn't the alpha of the team. So it's like you got two guys who think they can be the coach, but haven't really truly won a grinded out championship. If KD had several championships under his belt where he was the definitive alpha on the team, if he had 5 or 6 championships under his belt as the definitive alpha on the team, and they decided to get rid of the coach, then it would be more reasonable to think that, okay, well, KD knows how, he's been a part of 5 or 6 championships. He knows how this thing goes. That's not so unbelievable. But it's like your only championships are with the Golden State Warriors. Kyrie, your only championship is next to LeBron, and you guys want to be player coaches? Like, is this what we're doing? So yeah, I think it really just kind of goes into where the NBA as a whole. I feel like where the NBA is a whole, you're gonna have the majority of players not reaching their full potential. And this is where we go back to Michael Jordan, and say what you want, but I feel like everybody who Michael played alongside exceeded their potential, exceeded what they would have done had they went to another team and played with a player who was not as fierce a competitor and who wasn't so willing to confront teammates when they weren't doing the job. He pushed his team past their potential. But in today's NBA, we're going to see lots of players not reaching their full potential. Today's player doesn't want to do it the hard way. And I mean, look what KD's doing with Phoenix. This is going to be interesting to watch this season, because I feel like, hey, if KD doesn't win this year with this team he's assembled on Phoenix, it's going to be hard for me to keep being a KD fan. I mean, it's hard now. I'm only a KD fan because I respect his skill on the court. But, the other thing is, like, I can't figure out is, like, just based on how KD got derailed in that Boston series when they were allowed to play a little physical with him, it's like, put on some weight, hit some weights. Like, in today's modern NBA, where supposedly every athlete is stronger and more athletic and all these things, I don't understand why KD hadn't bulked up just a little bit. That would help him tremendously, I believe. Especially in this age where you can't play defense. But anyway, that's my thoughts on why KD has not been better than LeBron. Like I said, I think the fact that you are willing to go on a super team, that just already shows your mentality. Like, that is a shortcut mentality. Like I said, I think KD he doesn't have a leader mindset. To me, KD just wants to come in, do his job, and punch out. And that's not a recipe for maximizing your greatness. You can maximize your skill set, but greatness goes beyond the skill set. And I think this is what's happening with KD. KD has a tremendous skill set. Again, I love watching him because he's obviously studied Jordan. But yeah, it's not leadership minded. I think he's arrogant. I think he's sensitive like LeBron because, like I said, to me, when you deep inside know that you're not doing what you should be doing, then you tend to do stuff like that. You tend to want to respond to everybody who says something to you. The greatest thing about Michael Jordan is, through all this stuff, we never hear from Jordan. We never hear from Michael Jordan. People, no matter how much media stuff or people saying, oh, he beat weak competition and he only won because he was ahead of his time and he only won because he complained about the Pistons, or all this stuff and narratives out there about MJ floating around coming from you fanboys. We never hear from MJ. So yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Why do you guys think KD has not been able to exceed LeBron James, especially with a skill set like his? Let me know what you think in the comments. You all have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. All right.